People who met their so or another important person in their life through Reddit. What's your story? I posted to my local subreddit for a few weeks that I was going to play trivia every so often, looking for new friends. One time a guy comments, "Sure, sounds like fun." So we are at trivia with two other friends of mine, and I just immediately like him. I get him to follow us to karaoke after that. I messaged him a few times, found out he was on OkCupid and was single, and asked him out about a week or two later. Been together almost 7 years now, and married for almost 3. Found out he was on OkCupid. How did you find that out? Well, sort of amusingly, I figured he was younger than me, so I did a search for a younger age range, his religion, his race, and he was the only one in my city. Haha. Pretty easy to pin down. You did ask the legwork. All he did was comment shorter trivia lol. Happy for you. Met my ex-GF now best friend on Reddit. She uploaded the picture of one of the cats in my college campus. I identified it, texted, and eventually we met up in college. Best relationship ever. However, while being with me, she learned that she wasn't into men. So we stayed as friends and hang out almost every day. Well, yes, but actually no. Not gonna lie, they had us in the first half. Task failed successfully. I see you and J.K. Rowling have something in common now. Did the reverse happen to her? I guess I could look it up. Met my so on a friend making subreddit after a really bad breakup. Long distance for 3 years. Together 5 years this October. He lived a couple states over from me. We would Skype every day for hours. We started off as friends, but it turned into something more. Still love him. The sub was I need a friend. You two saw some boyfriend. Has she ever threatened you with her nudes? And has he ever terrorized you with green? That's a good question. Wow, absolutely gut-wrenching comedy there. My cat is significant in my life. He found me on Reddit when he prompted his first owner to look for a new home for him online as he wasn't doing well with his dog roommate. I've heard him ever since. Gold for photos sounds like a fair trade. Presenting Adonis. Donnie. Similar story here. A redditor posted in our city's subreddit about a dog he picked up off the street as a puppy. The pup grew too big for the apartment, so the redditor posted on our New Orleans to rehome him. We fell in love. That was almost 6 years ago. Meet Lyndon. What a happy dude. Nice work letting him adopt you. Greatest love story ever told. Please give me hope. My 2 years of redditing has yet to benefit me in any way. 6 years here. This ain't it, chief. It's been 84 years. Yeah, I've been redditing since 1935. What have you done for Reddit lately? Never on Reddit, though I'd consider there are a couple of people I've interacted with on here enough that I actually care about them. I met one girl on a message board a long time ago though. Not like, met a girl and wanted to bang, but someone who liked the same bands as me and was actually interesting to talk to. I've been talking to her for 25 years and never met her. She knows all about my life, family, ups, downs, etc. and I about hers. I'd say it's a truly pure and amazing friendship. Outside my immediate family, the most important to me. She literally is a best friend who doesn't really judge and actually cannot judge, and I know I truly care about and cares about me. It's one of my few constants in this world. I have an MSN Messenger friend from probably 17 years ago, also never met. We text and keep in touch often. I talked to a dude in an AOL punk rock chat room the first day I got it. 1994-ish. I was 14. We live about 12 hours apart. I flew to see him in 2005. We are still good friends to this day. I have a Twitter friend who I've been speaking to for about 4 years now. I don't really want to meet him in case we don't get along in person. She flirted with me using the Reddit's DMs, and I went over to her house. It was a guy with no pants. Great story. Really liked how quickly you got to the bottom of it. No need to dress it up at all. I'll keep it short. I ended up with 2 different girls users from our Uruguay. First one didn't end so well at all. I'm still dating the second one. She's beautiful and very similar to me. Our first date was at night, and it was raining like it never had in the past year at least. Classic rom-com cliché. I think we need a story on the first one. She was bipolar and had BPD, and I thought I could handle it until I couldn't. On our second time seeing each other IRL, she was so attached that she wouldn't let me out of her apartment. I almost had to jump from a second floor. She ended up threatening to cut herself with a box cutter which she was holding on her other arm. I had to take the box cutter away and kinda force her to give the keys. Oh wow, that's heavy and sad. Sorry you had to go through that, and sorry she has to deal with that pain. Posted on R4 looking for an NFL watching buddy. Since I'm a woman, I received upwards of 100 messages. Any woman that's ever posted on that sub knows how it is, but I made it harder on myself posting about a male dominated hobby. For some reason one guy in particular stuck out. We messaged on and off, and for brief periods of time for about 4 months. From then on we started chatting a lot more consistently. I had already developed a thing for him, and then I found out he lived in my dream city on top of it. 2100 miles apart, and somehow we made long distance work for 3 years. After 10 visits back and forth, this past December my dog and I moved in with him. He's sitting beside me right now. What exactly about him stuck out? I love to see R4R success stories. I reconnected with an old friend of mine because of Reddit. Years ago I told this story involving my friend Andy from college. Later on that day I get a PM saying, "Hey, it's Sandy from your story." I knew right away it was him, because he called me by a nickname that only he called me. It was cool hearing from him, because we hadn't talked in over 2 years and we ended up reconnecting. Now we are good friends again, and it all happened because he stumbled on a comment I wrote about him. Andy sounds like my kinda guy. Met my boyfriend on the Meet People subreddit 2 years ago. We became friends and became officially a couple 1,5 years ago. It's amazing to me how someone can become such an important part of your daily life. Even though he is so far away, I have never felt this close to anyone before. Something that I really like is that we communicate in a respectful way, even if there is conflict. We try and always be open and honest, and I believe we are both very empathetic to each other's feelings and struggles. That's so funny. I met my boyfriend on our Meet People. What's crazy is I met my former boyfriend on our Meet People. It worked out well for me, him not so much. Note to self: don't meet people on our Meet People. Thank you for introducing me to that sub. I met my husband on a BBS in 1992 pre-Reddit. We got married in 1997 and are still glad to see each other, so that's a win. I used to run an underground BBS like 1990 to 1998. The first girl I ever kissed I met there. YZ. I ran a BBS in northeast England called Area 52. I still have it saved on a hard drive somewhere, including all the FDNet messages. Archive that before the HD dies. I used to have a floppy of my BBS backups, but it long disappeared. I was in San Diego and used WivNet for a time, which was far superior of course. After WWIV based systems I ran Vision X and Vision 2 and ultimately Oblivion 2, which ruled. Why did your board die? Around 98 or whatever I started getting maybe 1 or 2 calls a day and decided the internet finally killed us. I met my best mommy friend on Reddit. I was in a due date subreddit for pregnant women who were due in the same month, and that spun off into a Facebook group. At some point I realized that one of the girls lived less than a mile from her house, so we decided to meet up. Our little girls were born a week apart and now they will grow up together. What do you call a sad computer, Adele? Apparently one terrible joke is all it took for us to start a conversation, followed by more talking, video chats, and him buying a plane ticket after a month and flying over 3,000 miles to see me. We started dating as soon as we met, have been together a year, and are moving in together soon. I posted on this thread as a straight male in Kindness Insanity. Hey. So you come here often? Reddit? Yeah, pretty often lol. You? Same. If you like my awkward reply comments now, just wait until we meet in person. Hey, I'm new to the area, so just meeting someone would be cool to me lol. We did it Reddit. Now Kith. Anyone else reading these really cute stories and realizing how single they are? Cause same. Same here, sad life of a redditor. I'm relying on something like that will happen to me. I know it's not good to rely on luck, but IDK what to do. I really want to chat W somebody or make a friend, but IDK how? So I just play games and watch the day go by day. If you understand me, my English isn't best, but I will improve. It took me 4 minutes to figure out what so means. Yes, I'm a certified idiot. It means significant other WTH. I first saw it on a military sub and assumed it was senior officer. Thought it was weird that it popped up everywhere. Thought to myself, wow, there's a lot of military on Reddit. I felt a bit silly when I figured it out. It's okay, my dude. I've gone with someone for so long. It was such a confusing time. I was a really lonely big guy who had given up on girls, and so I always browsed new on LGBT subreddits hoping I'd meet someone. Well, one day someone posted that they were lonely and wanted to talk. I sent them a PM, got his snap, and we talked all night long. And then all of the next day until our phones died in school. And the next day and the next day and the next day, etc. Found out we lived in the same state, close enough to drive to, and now I've been his for a little under 13 months. I don't know. Anyone wants to write one together? Well, let's give it a try. But I have to warn you, I'm bad at breaking the ice. Nice eyes, cutie. How much do you want for them? I'd like to nail them onto my bedroom wall to increase my collection. Sweating up, well, you'd probably want to preserve them. Nailing them to the wall will make them go bad faster. Maybe I could show you my collection and we could discuss it further. Ugh, get a room, you two. This is pretty smooth. I'm disabled and have no friends. Thanks to Reddit I met a person a month ago after years of chatting. Feels good. I hope to meet this person again and again, but we live in distant cities so it's hard. This made me more self-confident and happy. I can't explain to you how I felt that day. Is your disability spine related? No story, I just wanted to post and say it's nice reading all these good stories. Thanks for warming my heart a little today, Reddit. I met my boyfriend on a video game subreddit looking for people to play with. I made a post and got a solid handful of replies, but for some reason, his was the only one I responded to. We ended up playing and talking that night, and it didn't stop until the early morning. It felt so easy and so right. I never vibed with someone like that before. I felt like he was my other half. In fact, he thankfully felt the same way and we've been dating ever since. It's been 1.5 years, and I'm still just as giddy over him as that first night. I've never been happier. I love him so much. We are getting married tomorrow. We met when we were both going through a challenging time and became friends. Eventually it evolved, and I moved to be with him. We both thank our lucky stars for that chance encounter. We have been together for 3 years now, and also just purchased a home. Things are great right now. He messaged me after I posted something on a religious dating subreddit. We met up the next time he was in town and the rest is history. Never met a guy like him in my life, let alone with the same values and stuff. It's been about 8 months of long distance, but that will hopefully be changing really soon. I met my boyfriend on our 4R in January. We met for the first time on my birthday in February and have seen each other at least every 2 weeks since. Even though he lives about 4 hours away, we are both convinced that we are made for each other and already know we'll be together forever. It can happen. We met playing with the same guild in EverQuest. Played together as friends for somewhere around 3 years with the guild and in groups. A handful of us met for a weekend and just hung out. My guy and I end up really clicking. A little later a bunch of us decided to meet IRL, so we planned this big guild meeting in Vegas. There were like 30 or so of us. He and I both stayed an extra day and walked around, talked, just enjoyed each other's company. After that we were seldom apart for more than a few days. He moved to my state, I moved to the city he moved to. We've been together just short of 20 years now, and 4 kids too from a previous marriage, are still crazy in love, and I couldn't imagine anyone more perfect for me and our kids. Met a very good friend on a small cancer sub about a year ago. We both had the same cancer and a lot of other uncannily coincidental things in common. Talk every day now, you just pick a name. I met my ex-friend on our 4R. Talked for a couple of years and he randomly asked if I wanted to talk his friend from Michigan. I was in a really dark place but accepted anyway. We officially started dating a month later, 2 months after we moved in together, and now we're happily just chilling for a year and some change. We have guinea pigs and plan on moving far away so I can start my career in film. My friend ended up completely ghosting me. The friend ghosted me because he thought it'd be awkward talking to his friend's girlfriend. He wouldn't want his girlfriend talking to his friend, so boom, gone. Blocked me on everything, didn't even have the guts to tell me. 2 different people, though, BFS mom has confirmed. In December 2011, I got out of a suboptimal relationship and I was looking for a new adventure. I posted on our like a Toba Tree, a smallish community I'd found refuge in, saying I was taking a road trip from Wichita to New York City and that I'd like to meet up with people from the sub along the way. One person responded and we met just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. He was a mod of the subreddit and we Skyped a few times beforehand, so I found myself trusting him. Found out he was moving to a town in Kansas only a half hour away from me, and barely a month later we started a beautiful relationship, the best 5 years I've ever known. He showed me what it means to be truly good and kind. I'm so grateful I took a chance on a random sub.